next topic here is something that is near and dear to my heart, just because it's something that I'm living these days, and that's mental health. And we all are living with it, not just me, but all of us. But the ins and outs of what mental health looks like, sometimes we pretty it up, um, because for whatever, we don't want to live in our truth. And when you don't live in your truth, the demons that you're trying to cover are always knocking, trying to get in, pushing at the door as you're trying to hold it back. But sometimes you got to let that door open and let them come through so you can face your fears, your demons, and everything that you got going on mentally in the face. Because if you don't, it can rear its ugly head and and make you do certain things like depression, um, reevaluating your self-worth, making you think you're inadequate, or even worse, suicide. Um, I like to be real transparent, as transparent as I possibly can be. And for the past 2 weeks, I haven't been my normal, natural Nell self. Um, my mental hasn't been the best. And I know I'm going to get phone calls and texts and messages after the show saying, hey, you can talk to me. Hey, you got the shoulder to lean on here. Hey, I got you. And that's amazing. Thank you. But sometimes you can't communicate the feelings that you're feeling because you don't know why you're feeling these things, or even you're left voiceless, searching for answers. Um, Mental health is something that we should all take serious daily, not just when we're um, down, but even when we're up. We have to know the things that gets us to the places where we're in our positivity, and we also got to know the things that will take us to those negative places, which can snowball and make things even worse for us. Because sometimes our aggressions, our attitudes, when we're in these places, pushes people away, alienates ourselves from others who care about us. Um, and again, could be the demise of your existence. Um, I wanted to share this just because transparency is key. But also, when you get up on these type of platforms and you speak from a place of your heart, regardless if you're educating, regardless if you're mentoring, and or even speaking your opinion or your truth, you still have to be vulnerable, because we're not perfect, right? So for the past couple of weeks, um, y'all know I'm a strong-minded, strong-willed individual, got a strong mind, strong personality. I can go with the best of them when it comes to getting down with it. But then too, we fought, I got a soft side. I got a heart. I got feelings just like everybody else. And certain times when your heart is pure and you're willing to do whatever you can, not only for yourself but for others, you get tired, you get beat down, and sometimes you question those very things, like why, and would it be better if I wasn't a part of these type of situations, or if I wasn't even a part of being, if I wasn't even good enough to be here. um at no time do I want anybody to think that I want to harm myself, um, that I want to do something to myself, um, that will take me away from life. But again, mental health has to always be checked. And again, as I told y'all before, this is my therapy. Coming on these shows on Sundays, sitting here and talking to you guys on Sundays, Wednesdays, and even some on Thursday nights when I come on with the guys. This is therapy because I get a chance to live out my truth, speak my facts. I get a chance to laugh. I get a chance to joke. I get a chance to cry, and that's human, right? So one thing that I would implore everybody to do, regardless if it's 2022, 23, or even 2029, is to keep a hold of your mental health. When you feel you're just not in a good space, step back for a minute, gather yourself, see what's wrong. And if you don't know what's wrong, it's okay. It's okay to not be right. And once you understand that, then that's the starts the healing process. Um, find something that you love, that you know when you're a part of that, it's nothing but pure joy, because those can be the outlets for when you're in your own mind, figuring out things to do, places to go, people to be around. So at least you'll be able to get back to your square. All right. So not to what is that, dim the mood, because we're not doing it, but it's just awareness. It's just making sure that we keep a firm grasp on life and
Mm-hmm.
the beauties of what life has to offer, but also the challenges, because nothing in life is perfect or um, going to go the way we want them to go all the time. And once we realize that, we do ourselves a great service by understanding that we can't control every little thing, and it's okay to not be in control all the time. All right.
Mhm.
Well, let's take to let's
No,
I'm gonna
thank you.
Those are some wise words, Nell.
Yes,
And
and just thank you for sharing, period. I mean,
yeah.
it's people that are feeling like you every single day and can't find the words and formulate the words to express themselves so eloquently and so deeply as you. And for the individuals that are dealing with individuals who feel like you, I think it's important that they also know that there will come a time where they will share as much as you have chose to share with us, and that sharing is good and sharing
Mhm.
is helpful, and like you said, sharing is your therapy. And just that self-expression, if only some people could understand how important that is. And for me, I hope that someone that is dealing with some of those same things are watching tonight, because they do tune in. And I hope that they are watching and that they saw that another Black man, whether he be older than him or not, another Black man is expressing that sometimes you're just not okay, and that sometimes you just feel inadequate. And sometimes um, being vulnerable can also be a stepping stone to elevating and growing and getting out of any harmful thoughts or wanting to hurt yourself and all of that. And I hope that, Nell, your words could have touched that someone in my life that needs to hear that. So I want to thank you, from a person who is dealing with it from the other side. Thank you for sharing your space. Thank you for sharing your feelings and expressing that, even though you're a strong Black man,
Mhm.
that, you do have days where it's not, you are not okay.
Yeah,
And so that's important, because I feel like then a weight could be lifted off of you to continue to push. So I say thank you.
also one other aspect that I need to share to help individuals on the other side of the coin understand, and these are the people that are our support systems, or these are the people that are in our lives meant to be there to support us. And what this looks like from a person that's going through whatever mental challenges that they're going through, they need you to be a little bit more tender. They need you to be a little less aggressive. We're not saying kiss our ass. We're not saying jump through hoops just to make us feel better. No, what we're asking is this, that you just give us a little bit of time to figure it out. Because sometimes we push and probe, and we're 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 supposed to be there in those people's lives, like a spouse or a friend or family or brother or sister or niece and nephew, or whatever the dynamic or relationship that you have with that person is supposed to be. And we start to um, push our own thoughts on somebody else that's going through whatever they're going through, and that makes them feel even worse because you're trying to drill in them. Well, you should be talking to me. You should have came to me first. And you sometimes a person again doesn't know what they're going through, and sometimes verbalizing, just talking, just just general conversation can bring out some of the ugliest feelings, and a person might not even know it. Right? Maybe somebody does not want to be counseled at that moment. They just want to express themselves without being, well, why you feel like that? Or why did you say this? And why did you do that? More or less, it's just them trying to figure it out. So for those that's on the side of the listener or the lover, love them. Don't belittle them. Don't badger them. Love them, because that's what they need. And the moment they're able to open up and express themselves, it will become like a faucet. It will be ever flowing. But the person has to figure out what they're going through first before they can detail it to someone else. Sometimes a lot of the conversations about a person's feelings comes after the feeling has already left them, or they've gotten out of that mental space and they're able to now move around. Sometimes we're not able to express ourselves in that moment just because we're trying to gather ourselves up, especially the strong ones who's usually there for everybody else. But then too, we're going through so much as people nowadays. Life is 10 times harder than it was 2, 3, 5 years ago. We got so many challenges that we're facing. We got so many adversities that we see. We're growing up, we're growing older, we have ailments, we have responsibilities, we have challenges. And dealing with those normal things through life brings different conundrums to our world. So sometimes we just need you to shut up and just be there, offering nothing but your presence, offering nothing but just your safe haven. Sometimes words are not necessarily needed. Questions are not always the way. That's how you that's how you deal with those whose mental isn't at its healthiest spot. And hopefully we're dealing with people like that who are even mentally healthy so they can remain that way. Right? So these are just certain things to look for. And I said this to the crew Thursday night. I can see why. And I never thought about this before. But as we get older, our minds mature, as we go through different situations and circumstances, we see things for what it's worth. We always sit back and once we hear something like, oh, somebody committed suicide. Well, how could they? How could you commit suicide? How could you take your own life? But I understand. I understood why somebody could do that. That's the harsh reality of the times that we live in, is you can start to understand why somebody may have had those thoughts.
Mhm.
That's when you're really living in your truth. Because you start to see from rock bottom, damn, I'm here. On the outside, I might be shining bright, giving off all these rays to people. But deep down inside, I could be a miserable mess.
Mhm.
So be on the lookout within your own self this year and going forward. Be on the lookout for individuals that's in your life. Just letting them know that you're there for them. Doesn't always have to come in the words of advice. So just be, I love you. I'm sorry. I forgive you. I'm here for you. But more importantly, let your words be your actions. If you say you love me, love me. If you say you believe in me or you're loyal to me, be loyal and believing in me with actions instead of words. I can stay on this all night. I can stay on this all night. I really, really, really can. But
Mhm.
thank you for allowing me to share my mental state of emergency. Thank you.